Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Simmons. I've just been interviewed by Keith Andrews, an amazing guy. He's doing a great work, and I can't wait to be a part of this network more and to collab and to support his work and mission.
For people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. I never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. Prove to them and can still amount to something. That being said, 26 minutes of your time. And first question I want to ask you is tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you came to do what you do now.
So my name is Matthew Simmons. I am a professional actor. I'm an author. I'm a public speaker based in Dallas, Texas. And how I got to do what I do as an actor is kind of a fun, interesting, semi-long story. So it's best way to say is it found me. I was not ever thinking that I was going to be an actor. It wasn't something that I thought about. I mean, I would have enjoyed the idea of doing it, but I never really thought that I was going to do it. So I just pursued other things. Didn't enjoy anything, just finding odd jobs, just finding to do different entrepreneurial pursuits. Nothing really stuck, but I met some filmmakers. They let me hang around their sets. I loved it, but then I was at the right place at the right time, met people, joined a video shoot for a web series, and then again, met the right people. And then one thing after another led to me having a career in it. 2020 kind of really started my career as an actor. I started getting booked for films, started getting speaking roles, started getting background roles in some big shows. And so then started getting commercials, started getting, lifestyle photo shoots as a model. And I started turning the corner to where I made it a career and really cool stuff. So that's how I got to be an actor, author. I wrote my life story into a book, published it last year. Just really wanted to share my story. And I enjoy writing. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy performing. I've never met a camera that I was afraid of. And I'm very comfortable in front of a camera and an audience. So those are all God-given gifts. So that's kind of how it started. And then it's just an adventure from now.
Absolutely. Now, the next one is, well, let's have a little fun with this one. What makes you different from the competition?
Oh, man, that's a good one. I think what makes me different is when I'm as an actor, when I'm in a project, I just did it today and yesterday because the music video that I was in was released and I acted in it. And so I've been sharing it nonstop. I share everything nonstop on my Instagram stories, on Instagram posts, on Facebook. I tell friends about everything that I do. So I'm equally as supportive of any project that I'm in as if it were mine or as if I was the lead star in it. Or as if I was the marketing company even. Like I'm always talking about it, I'm always sharing it just because I like to support other people. And I never met a stranger, so I meet everybody on set. I take pictures with everyone on set if it's possible. I don't want to break any rules, but per se. But I definitely want to support the project, whatever project I'm on. And some people, they just go in, they go out, they just leave. It's just another job. But I really want to support it. I want to promote it. I want to let people see me doing it. I want people to see the behind the scenes footage of it so people can know, oh, he actually is doing this. And it's tagging people in my posts, just to constantly support people. I follow people back when they follow me on Instagram. Some people don't do that. So, I mean, I'm a very supportive person. And in this industry, that's very big. So, I mean, you might be like, well, I mean, you're not a better actor. You're not a better model. You're like, I'm a more supportive person than I think some people are, which is unfortunate. I wish everybody was, but I believe I'm everyone's biggest cheerleader. So I think that's what makes me different from a lot of people.
No, absolutely. I agree. You bring up an interesting point. It's like, oh, hey, you follow for follow, you follow me, I follow you. I used to do that, but then I'm like, I really, this person doesn't have anything that I'm interested in. And then you feel like, they're guilt tripping you. So for me, if I really like you, I will follow you, but I mostly follow only people who I know. And it's like, look, let's make it easier. Let's do an interview, then I will follow you. I'm not gonna follow you just for the hell of it, because I don't know who the hell this person even is. So if you work with somebody, it makes more sense. But you're not gonna follow every single person just because they follow you. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's nice, but you you want your link to be like, okay, let's see who this guy is friends with. Big actors, entertainers, people in the entertainment world. Not like Skid Row 24, wipe your ass one. It's like, oh, who the hell is that guy? So you want it to look nice. But the point is, I only follow people who I work with and who I know. That's why I'm state that for the obelisk.
No, same here. But some people don't even do that. So
It's true. And the other one I want to ask you is, with everything that you accomplished, do you have any success stories?
I mean, I haven't. From an awards-winning standpoint yet, I haven't. I'm pretty new to it, but I have had some really fun projects that I've done that I'm really proud to do, and some success. So I did. I went viral on YouTube with. So I'm a recurring lead actor for Vid Chronicles, which is a YouTube channel that's it's about 10 million subscribers, and we have life lesson inspirational short films that we release one every day, and one of them that I did. It's got over 12 million views, probably nearing 13 million views now. It's been shared by Snoop Dogg. It's gone all over Twitter. It's gone viral on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Some of the other ones that I've been in on Vid Chronicles have gone viral on Twitch and on Facebook and on Twitter as well. So I've been viewed millions of times on that channel. So that's a pretty good success rate of being seen by that many people and having a message that people can really relate to. I've done background for a couple of big shows. The Chosen, #1 crown footage show of all time. It's a story about Jesus and his disciples. And then you have Cruel Summer, which is a show by Freeform. I did background for that, and it's a show about early '90s Texas and like a high school feud between some students. So that was pretty cool to be a part of that. Those two projects, and then to go viral, that's a real blessing. And then just be a part of a lot of cool independent projects in Dallas and other big commercials. So I've had some cool things I've done, and so a lot of it's about to come out in this year and next, and so we're getting there. It's slowly but surely we're getting there.
No, absolutely. It's funny. I've been doing this 8 years, and I still was struggling to get a couple of million people. But hey, if maybe you would like to work together, I'm always up to cross promoting. But we can definitely talk about that off the air. But the other question I want to ask you is, what is coming up on the horizon, and where are you headed to next?
Well, coming up on the horizon, we got some projects, mainly some projects that are going to be released in premiere-wise. I think we're going to go streaming for a lot of these, but one's going to be in theaters internationally. So movies that I've been in that are going to be released: Dry Places, Blind Trauma, Texas Kill City. Texas Kill City is about when gangs ruled Texas. Mario Facey, the producer and the star of it, and that'll be released later this year. Blind Trauma and Dry Places, both released by the same director and actor, Theo Bray. Dry Places is about a fair proofing your marriage. Blind Trauma is about a domestic violence awareness movie, and I had supporting or lead roles in all three of those. And then this year, just yesterday, I finished filming a movie called Stay. It's a movie about suicide prevention that comes out in theaters next year internationally. And then we have, I'm doing a YouTube series called The Moguls. That's going to be released in September. I'm doing another one called Uncle T, which is a sitcom. We're going to shoot the pilot, and we're going to, crowdfund for that. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff. I did a State Farm commercial that'll be with Patrick Mahomes. Hopefully that comes out here soon. That was pretty cool. And then I got comedy series that I'm writing, and I have a book out that I wrote about my life story that's on Amazon and Barnes Noble. It's called God's Only Mistake. I believe it's a story about how I struggle with suicide and anxiety and depression. So that's already out on the market. You can get that. So a lot of cool stuff. So just be looking for me. You're going to probably see me. But the best way to follow my career path is on Stylish Leadership. That's my Instagram, and Matthew Simmons, my Facebook. I post all my behind-the-scenes stuff and updates of whenever things are being released. And if it's in-person premieres, they'd most likely be in the Dallas, Texas area. But if they're streamed or in theaters nationwide, worldwide, I definitely let people know that. And so those are some things. And then there's a myriad of things that we're writing or about to film. So So yeah, good stuff coming. And I'm just blessed to be working.
It's funny. I was going to save this question for the end, but while we're on the subject, how you mentioned some ways your fans can get in touch with you, but how can our fans and listeners get in touch with you? Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram?
All of those, yeah. You can either look up Stylish Leadership or Matthew Simmons, and you'll find me on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram are the primary ones that I use anywhere. And so you can just follow me there and reach out, send a message, say, hey, this is who it is. I saw you on Keith's show, and I'm like, hey, man, thanks. So that's how you can reach out to me, and I'll share my stories and my posts, kind of where my career is tracking. So.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I want to ask you is disabilities. Besides me, obviously, have you worked with people with disabilities? And for someone who wants to follow in your footsteps as an acting, modeling, what word of wisdom or words of advice would you give to that person?
I have. I've worked with people. I worked with a guy on The Chosen. Well, he was on The Chosen. I didn't work with him directly, but he was also on a movie, Washington's Armor, called Jordan Ross. He's a local actor here in Dallas. He has a great podcast called What's My Limp? And so I encourage you to go support him. He has a disability where he has one leg is shorter than the other, so he walks with a limp. And so I worked with him, but his personality and his spirit about him, his energy, his aura, however you say it, is amazing. He's a great guy. He doesn't let his disability get in his way. He's a professional actor. He's done some really big stuff as well. So Jordan Ross is a great guy. He just got the blue check on Instagram, so he's got like 10,000 plus followers. So his career is really starting to peak. He's been on the local media here in DFW area, so he's really good. But he's a guy who he lets his disability kind of speak for him, and he uses it for his advantage. And I really admire people who do that, because really at the end of the day, nothing limits you except what you let nothing limits you unless what you let limit you in your mind. So I mean, there's always a way. That's my motto. There's always a way. Let's find a way to make this work. So it might look different for you and how you do what it is, but find a way, and you can still succeed at whatever you do. So I always love doing that. And disabilities can be physical, they can be mental, they can be emotional. But at the end of the day, we can always be an overcomer. We can always strive to do whatever we want to do in spite of whatever is coming against us. So.
No, I agree. Now, while we're on the same wavelength, I want to make sure we're on the same wavelength. Are you a Dragon Ball fan?
I do like anime. I do like a little bit of Dragon Ball. I got into it kind of late. I do like Dragon Ball. My favorite anime is My Hero Academia and One Punch Man are my two top favorites. I got into it kind of later, but I do like Dragon Ball. And I'm looking to get into it more because one of my goals is to be a voice actor. So I really want to get into it more. But no, I love that. I love Star Wars. I love Baby Yoda. So, I mean, like that, he's my dude. But yeah, Dragon Ball's cool. Anime is cool. Star Wars is cool. I'm trying to get into more knowledge of all of that. I kind of started a little late, but it's good.
The reason I asked is because you mentioned a couple times a will. And as one of my idols and heroes, Son Goku used to say, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, absolutely. And I have heard him say that. I mean, it definitely furthers me saying that. But yeah, no, that is definitely a great motto and great character too. Great all-time character.
Absolutely. Now, actually, for Prince Vegeta is one of my second favorites. But there's a lot of different things. But the other thing I want to ask you is, what were some of your favorite films and TV shows that you got the chance to be a part of?
Favorite shows that is the question like a show that I've loved that I've been able to be a part of?
Yes.
So The Chosen was one that I love the show and I wanted to be a part of it, and actually was able to be a part of it as a background actor. So that's the only one that I've actually been able to be a part of yet so far. But I love Mandalorian. It'd be great to be a part of that. A lot of animes, love to be voice acting for. Shows I grew up watching that I like I'm not gonna be able to be a part of this one unless they do a remake, but Bonanza, I love that show. So I love Westerns. Growing up in Texas, you're around cowboys and all that. So I love Westerns. So I love Bonanza and all the you know, spaghetti westerns and all those things from the 50s and 60s. So if they do remakes, I'd be like, hey, I'm there, you know. So all those kind of stuff, and then of course, and recently anime. So I mean, so I'm getting one show. Yes, I was able to get on that I love, and then others, not yet.
No, absolutely. I used to be a big cowboy fan. I used to like it, and there's some great movies: Tombstone, Into the West, Wyatt Earp, Gangs in New York. But after knowing what what they did, Cowboys are the good guys, and Native Americans are the bad ones. But now you know the truth. That the Cowboys were the bad guys, and Native Americans first. So now it's reversed. So it's kind of like kind of kills it, kind of lets you didn't know the truth. But
gives us a reason to make it again, right? Gives us a reason to remake some, and I'm right here as an actor, casting directors. I'll do it.
I know, absolutely. And for me, there's some great shows I would love to be a part of. There's a time I took acting classes. It didn't work out. The acting coach wasn't that good anyway. But I wanted to be part of Suits. I want to be part of Blue Bloods, Grimm, Hawaii Five-0, House. But the one that really caught my interest was Suits. That season was really good. Everything up to 1 to about season 4. And if you have something good, you have a perfect ending, leave it alone. You look at Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad had the perfect ending, and instead they ran that into the ground. They ran Hawaii Five-0 into the ground. It's like, yes, you start off great, but then you kind of like these superhero shows like Smallville. Smallville has 5 great seasons, and they have 5 shitty ones. So it's kind of like, yes, if you do it right, you can make it 10 years, but during that time, you're gotta set yourself up for failure. The first 5 seasons of Smallville were about meteor freaks, and who cares about that? And then he brought witches in. It only got good when he got Doomsday, Brainiac, Zod. That's when it got interesting. But you don't need to be on for 10 years. There's Breaking Bad is a perfect example. It's like how he got into it, what happens, and then he kills the guy. Spoiler alert, kills the guy, and he says, I won. 4 seasons, absolutely great episodes. You didn't have to ruin it. But that's the biggest thing about networking. It's like, well, let's make it all this money. Let's continue it. Let's do this. Write this person out. We place this role. We place that person. By taking the main people out, Hawaii Five-0, it's Steve McGarrett. I can't think of the blonde guy, but he was from Get Ready to Rumble, Grace Parks, and the other one. Once the 2 left, it's kind of like, yeah, you can bring new people in and see how to carry the show, but it's like with Power Rangers, perfect example. You had the original 5. Once the original 5 left, it's kind of like it takes away from it, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and when you write a series like that, you got to kind of write with the end in mind and know when you want to stop it, because, you want to know, like, if you're doing a series, if you're doing an episodic series, you want to know how many episodes per season, how many seasons, and how you want to end it, how you want to start it, how you want to end it, because if you don't, it can just linger on, and you'll be like, this makes no sense anymore. And that's kind of how some shows just go, So yeah, you kind of, if you're a writer out there, that's what you're told. Like, write with the end in mind. How do you want to finish this off? So you don't, and then maybe you need to know. Well, that actually is a perfect ending. Let's just scratch the other stuff. You just got to know what works, because you can always do another series. You can always do another show as a writer, and you can always get the same cast and just. I mean, you can always do it. I mean, as a writer, you can do whatever you want, but yeah, you want to make sure that your show is iconic, not womp womp.
No, I agree with you. Now, the next one I want to ask you is, what is the biggest change you have made in your life because you became an actor? Do you think being an actor has changed anything for you in acting and then in your personal life?
It has allowed me to. It has given me more confidence, I would say. definitely more confidence. It has made me more interesting. Like I mean, anyone ever asks me what I do, I just say I'm an actor, and they're just like, oh wow. So I win all the. I'm one of the most interesting person at cocktail parties now, or at social events. Like, oh, you're an actor? Because in Dallas, it's not as common. I mean, if I was in LA, they'd be like, oh, well, yeah, you're in LA. Everyone's an actor here, you know, or want to be. But in Dallas, it's not so much the case. He knows there's a lot of work here. So in Dallas, it's like if you say you're an actor, that people immediately just like, whoa, that's cool. You know, so you immediately make friends. And I love making friends. But I think for me, what it's taught me it's stretched my faith. It's stretched my belief in my dreams, you know, because I quit. I mean, I do get temporary jobs, but I don't have a day job per se that's steady. I get, you know, temp jobs that kind of fill in the gaps, and I just go for auditions and I just go for submissions and just see what I got. And it's made me more confident in my abilities. It's made me more confident to speak to people. It's definitely made me more confident in my abilities. I really was struggling with that. I was always confident talking to people, but I was still kind of holding myself back. Steve Harvey wrote a book, and he just has this saying where he just says, man, if you're ready to go for your dreams, just jump. And it's scary to jump, but I just jumped out on faith. Like, hey man, you know, my dreams and God are going to carry me. And if my dreams and God are going to carry me, then, and I can always just do something else, but I'm just going to have that faith to believe it's going to work out. And so that's kind of like, that is what has been the biggest change. Now my schedule wise, like I take things like if I have a lot booked in a certain period of time, I really focus on that time and really take time to learn the lines and do my job well and rest up. I make sure I get my naps in so I'm mentally sharp. I make sure that because as an actor, your mind is your greatest asset because you have to memorize things. So I've always been interested in like documentaries and all these kind of things, and reading, but I like to keep myself sharp and keep myself alert and keep myself smart, keep my mind going and constantly thinking and, you know, and just resting and all that, you know, to take care of my mind and my body, particularly before set days, if possible. So take those times to just chill, you know, exercise, go swimming, you know, run in place, do push-ups, to do those things to get in and just to get those naps in because it keeps you mentally fresh. So those are some things that before I may have just taken those for granted, but now I really take that seriously because it keeps me sharp as an actor.
You know, I agree with you. You know, you have to be 100. You know, a lot of people say 100%, but a lot of people say 110%, but whatever. A lot of people say you have to be passionate. For me, you need to be passionate. You have to have the heart for it. And you need to be, you know, now I say it does sound stupid, but, you know, you need to be 100%. No, I was going to say 110%, but whatever. That's no such thing. But like I said, the four things that you need: passion, determination, and you need to say, this is what I want to do. Because if you do things half-ass, it will show. You know, I'm an expert at that. You know, I have a bad history saying, I don't want to do this, I don't want to work here, but I need to. But you never know who walks through that door. You never know who you're going to meet and what opportunities you have. So if you do something, do it right, or you don't do it at all. But the other question I want to ask you real fast is, what is your claim to fame?
Oh, wow. I would say Vic Chronicles. I would say Vic Chronicles I've been seen by millions of people on Vic Chronicles. So professionally, I would say my claim to fame is Vic Chronicles. Mariah Facey's a great guy, great director here in Dallas. You know, love the guy, love his energy, love his spunk, love his determination, love his concepts. And so the one that went viral was a racist cop pulls over black police chief. That's on YouTube. That's probably at this point, my highlight moment. It always will be one of those moments that is like one of the best that I'm most proud to be a part of. So I would say that's my claim to fame. I've been seen on TikTok, like 40 million times. So that would probably be my most famous moment and claim to fame so far. But hey, man, you know, I am excited to do more of those and go viral with Vic Chronicles more. I'm excited to work with A-listers. I'm excited to work with, hey, I'm there for it. Let's do it. And let's be the guy that everyone knows, you know. And then I want to take that and I want to be somebody that people would want to be like in culture. I want to make a difference, you know, champion causes, and be someone that people, and always be approachable. I never want to be a star or a celebrity in my own mind. I'm always Matthew. That's a cool guy. Let's just sit and talk and shoot the breeze, and, you know, no need to get arrogant about something that, you know, is a gift. So.
Absolutely. Now, the last question I want to ask you is, I want you to be brutally honest. When I first emailed you, what made you, okay, let me rephrase that. Don't mind me, when I don't do my interviews as of late, my disability shows more hint of the show. But the question I want to ask is, when I first sent you the email, what was your first reaction? What made you say yes? And after being a guest, how do you feel now? And would you recommend it to other people?
Yes, I would recommend it. I'm sure I will. I was honored, honestly. I was like, hey, it's another opportunity to talk and share my story, share what I'm doing. So I was honored. I was excited. And I was flattered that someone would want to reach out and interview me. So definitely was an honor. And I feel honored now and very thankful. And we can do it again whenever you want.
No, absolutely. And how are you feeling about, what is the difference to you of that, say you got to do something volunteer work or for freelancing? Isn't it freelance and volunteer work kind of the same thing?
It can be freelancing. It can be paid. It just means that you're kind of like an independent contractor and you're kind of doing things on your own. Meaning, like, you know, you don't have a boss telling you what to do, or you don't have a corporation that you're represented by or that pays your check. So you're basically an independent contractor, self-employed person. Freelancing can mean that. It could be free, but a lot of times it's paid. But freelancing just means that you're just doing it on your own. Like, you're just waking up and you represent yourself and you work yourself and you do all the work yourself sometimes, or you might have one or two people. So that's kind of what freelancing is. And volunteering is volunteering. You know, it could be, I mean, there's some gigs that aren't paid. You get a lot of free gigs when you're starting out, like we can't pay, but it's experience. Or you volunteer for a cause, a charity, a religious organization, or whatever. You know, those are some other things that you can do. So, so that's kind of, from what I've seen, that's the difference between freelancing and volunteering.
Oh, absolutely. Now, for fans out there who want to know the difference, I do have some great ideas for you off the air. But wrapping up, it's a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. Looking forward to part 2. And our fans out there, make sure to like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network, available on YouTube.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And as I always say, until we meet again, catch you later. Thank you, and have a good night.